As we realized we didn't give you.
We are terrible because we keep on pressing the mute.
Are we on now?
We are. So
Okay.
let's try this again. We can't understand the mute button apparently, but we are a mother-daughter duo. My name's Michelle.
And I'm Kara, and we are from Krazy Kreations.
Yes, and we're excited to be here today, and we're going to make this wood sign here. And we have some materials laid out for you to gather. So if you want to collect those, we'll give you about 30 seconds. You want to name some of these?
I do. So you all got in your packet this paint set right here. And you got the wood sign and the stickers. But some handy things to have are a ruler, a pencil, either a wet one or a wet paper towel. Sometimes I use a wet Q-tip, and I'll explain what that's for, but something that you can wipe the vinyl with, a brayer, scissors, and of course our tweezers. So these are really things that you'll need to make the sign. It's not a lot, but we wanted to give you a chance to go gather those. So okay, so here I am. I am your instructor for today. I'm very excited to make this wood sign with you. So it is just another way that we are illustrating how fun it is to use our vinyl outline stickers. So here's Michelle again. Hey Michelle, what's up?
There we go.
Okay. So I was just saying there's so many different ways that we could use our vinyl stickers.
Yes, this is a different way to use them than we usually do, which is on our microfine acrylic glitter. And today we're going to be using these Ohuhu markers. Which
do you like to say that word?
I do, actually.
Ohuhu. You know what's fun about these markers, everybody? I'm just doing some chit chat while you're gathering your supplies, but these are from Hawaii. They're actually made in Hawaii. And a fun fact is that Michelle, Mike, and I are actually going to take a brief vacation next week to Hawaii. So we're very excited. Maybe we'll run into the Ohuhu people.
Do you want to open those right now?
Yes, I will. So are you staying in with me?
I will be on Facebook and YouTube if there are any comments or questions, okay?
Okay, sounds good. So we are off and rolling now. So again, these are just little supplies that you'll find helpful as we make our fun wood sign. And as I was saying, our vinyl stickers are going to be used on a wood product today, but they could also be used on acrylic, paper. You could do your blending cardstock. We use them on cups. You can make cups or anything that goes in a dishwasher. These are dishwasher safe, these vinyls. And I often put them on candles, but most of the time you see us here at Krazy Kreation using them on our handmade glitter paper. Okay, so I'm going to now start out by introducing you to these Ohuhu acrylic markers. Now, why are we using acrylic markers and not alcohol ink markers? It is because when you color on the wood, you do not want to use your alcohol ink markers because unfortunately those markers, they will work, but they bleed into the grain of the wood, so then you have you can't contain it in your sticker, so it doesn't look very well. So that's why these are acrylic markers. Now, yes, any brand can work. I'm not very dainty. I was trying to be dainty, but I'm not going to be. On the back, it does tell you your color selection that came in the pack that you received. I love this little case that it comes in, and you open it. And inside you find the markers, but you also have a couple other things. These markers will look really well on black cardstock or something black, so they kind of gave you a color chart that you could fill in and see what the color looks like, as well as the white cardstock to see what the color looks like on white. And then of course they did one for you with all the color. This is just a little user manual, which I'm going to put aside all of these things just for now, but just know that they are in your pack. Okay, now these markers are cool. There are 24 of them, and like any marker, you want to pay attention to what the cap of the color is may not be the true color of the marker. So I just do want to let you know that. Also on the side of the marker is this little measuring kind of thing. It almost looks like a ruler, but what I like about that, it tells you how much ink is left in the marker. So as you use this, it will go down, and then you'll know that you don't have a lot of red. Now at this point, I have not seen where you could buy these individually online, and we only sell them in the sets, but I don't think the company is ready yet to sell them individually. So if they ever do, we will carry them. And then all you have to do is open it up. Now what I do like about these is they don't require shaking, even though it is recommended in their instructions. I have not done that or had a need to do that, but you certainly can. And when I'm talking about shaking, I mean shake, okay? But they're already primed. Oh, and I should mention that the top of this is a brush tip, which is really, really nice. Can you see that brush tip? So that's why we really, really love these. So this is our painting markers for today. So that's really cool, okay? So we're going to keep those out. We're not going to use them yet. Also acrylic markers, before I forget to tell you, they dry really fast. The paint dries fast, so we're not going to have those kind of problems while we're waiting for the paint to dry, okay? All right, also included in your kit was this beautiful wood sign. Now, if you notice on the back, you are going to have to put, you know, something to hang it up. These are easy things to buy at your local hardware store. You could just get a little hanger that you just stick on the back, and then you could put it up. Maybe you want a string. I'm not sure how you want to hang yours, but what we're more interested in is the front. So we like this product because it comes already painted. So you already have this white wash in the back, which I think makes it a lot easier than when it's a plain bare wood, because that might take a little bit more prepping for you. So you know, so this is all ready to go. We're going to start painting right on top of it. It looks very, very finished, as you can see right here. So I think that's really a nice little feature of having this particular sign. So you all got that. And then, believe it or not, we're only using 3 of our vinyl stickers. We're using the word welcome to our home. We're using these beautiful flowers, and then we're just going to use a little bit of a border to kind of put a line and a little decorative. So if you have kind of a wiggly line, we can hide it with our border. So don't you worry when you're painting. It's all going to be easy. This is not stressful. So I say, let's get started. Are you ready? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to put this on the side just so you could kind of see it, is I want you to take your wood and kind of put it how you want it. So what I mean is position it. So as you can see, I have a grain going this way. I have to decide, do I want that grain on the top? Do I want it coming down this way? But I really do actually prefer it this way. So I'm going to kind of have it like this, and that's how I want to position mine. So now is the time for you to position yours, okay? The next thing we're going to do, and I do have my little tiny ruler here, is we're going to start by painting the lower half the blue. Now, if you don't like blue, you had 24 colors that you can pick in there on what you want on the bottom. So I'm going to stick with what I did. But the first thing I kind of want to get an idea is how far up do I want to go? And honestly, I'm kind of thinking, wouldn't it be nice if it was this grain? So I think I am going to go for the top of the grain. But in my example, because I know a lot of you want to know exactly how far up did I go. This is 5 inches from here to here. Okay, so that's 5 inches. So if I go in here, 5 inches is just a little bit above the grain. So this is kind of where that pencil comes in, where I told you you might find it handy to have a pencil. We're going to use it a couple times, but maybe put a little mark here so you know. And I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So I know I don't want my blue to go over this line right here that I just made. Okay, now, does it matter if it's pencil? No, for 2 reasons. A pencil has an eraser, but number 2, we have our border sticker, so that will work out just fine for me. Okay, all right, so now we're going to get into the painting. All right. So here are our colors. I see a couple different blues. So how do I know which one to use? So what I'm going to do, we'll give it the little shake like the recommended. But like I said, I didn't do this. If I'm not sure that this particular blue, which is BG85, is the one that I want, what you could do is turn this over, kind of look to see what it's going to look like. Just put a little splat on the back. Now you could always take this off by sanding it later or wiping it off, but that is the blue that I want to use. So it's a nice light blue. Maybe you could kind of see that right there. Okay, so you could do the same. Okay, now when I was making this, I was actually at our Nevada retreat, and the ladies kept asking me, did you do that all with this marker, that blue on the bottom, or did you paint it? No, I actually did it just with this marker. So let's go ahead, do our first line. There we go. So you should be doing the same. And you're just going to come in. And this might take us a little bit, you know, to get the bottom here. But that's why I like this brush tip. It's just really, really easy to use. And as you can see, I'm just brushing. There's my blue. And I love that it goes into the white grain of the sign. As you can see, that's all I'm doing. Just brushing away. And just completing. Now, what I do like is when some of this grain comes through. So that's kind of nice, I think. Another reason why I really like the white a lot. So just go ahead and get that in there. Let us know. Michelle is manning your comments. Did anybody pick a different color than the blue? Let me know. I just think blue, it's so happy. Blue and yellow together I think are so cool. All right. I'm just going to go in. Now, if you're somebody too who might want to blend, you could try putting a darker color on the ends and blending. I just don't think it's necessary with the gray going through the white already, but it's really up to you. But you can already see how much I have accomplished here. I'm not doing the sides yet because I'm going to turn it around and get it better. I'm just trying to make my way down. And there we go. Look, I'd say I'm about almost halfway. How are you guys doing? You know, I'm doing this in real time with you, just so we know that it really works. This is a live presentation. So other things that are happening here at Krazy Kreations, we are in the midst of changing our online store platform. So Michelle has been working very diligently behind the scenes. We're going to a platform called Shopify, and we will be putting these type of products on when we get there. Our goal is March 1, so we hope to be live by then on our new platform. Now I'm going to turn this around because I think it would be easier for me, but you could kind of see how far already that I've gotten. But March 1, we should be able, we're hoping, to go live. And if you're a club member, all your club subscriptions will come over. You don't have to do anything, but we will be sending notes out to let you know if you do have to do anything as a customer. We're very, very excited because this way we could have a little bit more bells and whistles and get everything on there for you. It'll be a little bit easier for you to shop, we think. Okay, look, I'm really getting there. And because we have this brush tip, it's really easy to just get that side there. Now, if at any time you kind of make an oopsie, take that wet paper towel or Q-tip and just kind of damp it in some water and lift it up. Okay, that's why I have that there. All right, look, I have that one side all done. Doesn't that look good? I mean, look at that. Pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to turn it around and see how I could get this side, what's easiest for me. This is a more awkward side for me. I wonder if you guys have awkward versus non-awkward. If you're coming to us from Orlando or Irving, you guys, we are going to be with the Scrapbook Expo in March. Those are the first shows. I know that the workshop book has already come out for the expo, and you can start signing up for classes, I believe, February 10th. So maybe consider that. Okay. All right, so here is my blue, and I'm just going to see if there's anywhere where I wanted to add any. But how are you doing? Was that not one of the easiest things that you've ever done? Really? And I think what we can do is look on the side. Our paint really hasn't moved much. So even though it may seem like a lot of paint, it really wasn't a lot of paint. So that's kind of cool. All right, so I'll give you a few seconds to go ahead, figure that out, finish that up. But while you are, I just want to say that we do have products that have primarily been in our expo booth that you could also use these paint sets on. So you can easily make ornaments with our vinyl stickers and put them on our wood. We have wood banner shapes, we have wood circle shapes, and you're making ornaments and then coloring them in with the paint. So that's really fun. And then we may have a few acrylic circle shapes as well that you'd want to use these particular markers. So we will be carrying a supply of using acrylic markers on wood elements with our samples. So if you got these markers, we will have ideas for you to use them with our product in the future, okay? All right, so I'm going to put those aside for a minute. We will be painting our flowers, obviously, but right now we need to start kind of setting that up. So I'm just going to kind of go like this, and you could already see this is, well, I had one little wet spot, but most of it is dry, so that's kind of nice. So I'm just going to, at this point, work with the line here, and I'm going to take our border sticker. Now, on this border sticker, you have an option. If you were to peel, everything on here is indeed a sticker. So you have a lot of stickers, and we're literally just going to use like one or two lines. But the option is you could use the pearl, or you could use the one next to the pearl, which is a diamond. So it goes pearl, diamond, pearl, diamond, pearl, diamond, all the way across, okay? What I absolutely love about these, it is a great way to just kind of add a little touch to make something look just nice and finished on here. Okay, so obviously this isn't quite long enough, so I'm going to have to come in and I might use my little tweezers to see, get it a little straight there. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to come back in, look for another pearl. Remember I said pearl, diamond, so I have to skip the second one and go for the third one. Let's see if I get in there. It's just so much easier. I should just use my hands. There we go. Okay. All right, so the nice thing about the pearl is I can attach it. So maybe I see a small one there. I'm just going to put it on there. And I'm just going to continue to the end. And I'm going to take my scissors and snip. Now, wasn't that easy? So now I have this beautiful line right there. Okay, now here's another option for you. If you want, you could add a double line. You know, if you want a thicker line, you could put two of them there. I did not do that on here, and in fact I used the diamonds right here, but I do think that would be kind of cool to have a double line. Okay, all right, look at us. We have that part done. And I'm going to check one more time here. I think it should be pretty dry. Oops, I'll use my non-painted hand. Yep, pretty dry. Okay, good. So we are going to now work with the word part of our sign. Okay, this particular sticker is awesome. I love it. But I'm going to tell you right now that if you tried to peel this whole word all in one shot, it is kind of hard. It'll go all over the place and you'll be frustrated. So I'm going to show you a trick, okay? So the first thing we want to do is called weeding. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the top vinyl from the back protective layer, okay? And I'm going to pull this off. And this will help me see all the elements on my sticker sheet. Now, you can do this with any of our stickers where you can weed off what is essentially the garbage and just kind of see the actual usable part of the sticker sheet. Okay? So now that I've done that, I told you that if you try to pull this off as one, it could be a little unnerving. So before we pull anything off, I want to look at a couple things. Do you see how this L, C, and the O is up just a little bit, but it's fairly straight across? But when you go to put the M, it's kind of up, and then the E comes down to that normal space. So the bottom of the M and the E. And over here, the W dips down, but this part is kind of even. I just want to point that out so when we put our word together, the beginning of the W, the bottom of the E, L, C, and then this part and this E all are kind of even across. The rest of the word kind of goes up and down in that beautiful script. Now, I'm going to lift this up just a little bit right here, and I am going to take my scissors and I am going to snip that. Remember, this is a sticker. We can put it back together, but I'm going to break this word into 3 pieces. Okay, so now I'm going to go by the O and the M here. And I'm going to snip it there. Okay, so now by me snipping it here and here with my scissors, I have 3 pieces to the word. Now, the next thing that I want to say is if you're somebody who really likes things straight, this is another opportunity where we should take our ruler, and I'm just going to measure for you. I'm about 2 1/4 up. So about 2 1/4 up is where the bottom of my welcome is. So about there. So then I'm going to put a very faint line, just so I know that's where I want it. Very faint, so faint it looks like it's part of the grain. That's kind of good, right? Okay, so I went ahead. Hopefully I could see that. All right. So, next suggestion. Let's take the middle that has all the straight and put it in the middle here. And then we could hook the beginning and the end. So now we're going to lift this up. Okay. It's already giving me fun. Here it is. Okay. Now, of course, it's hard to see my line. I think it's about here, so I want this kind of in the middle. And I'm just going to gently let it go down. And this is the hardest part of the whole project, to be honest with you. Now, do not press this down until we have the whole word, okay? So there's that part. Let's do this part, the M and the E. Okay. So you could kind of see how this could be really hard if you had the whole word. So this is going to attach here. So I have this up a little too high. I gotta move it. So I think I want it more. I kind of want this to come down, this to come down a little. Take your time. You can see I'm trying to take my time. Okay. Yeah, what happened here? Okay, mine turned. Did yours turn? How did that happen? There it is. Okay. Stop doing that. Don't do that. Okay. Very good. I'm just playing with it. Play with yours. There we go. Gonna get that out. And really, it looks like mine's getting a little close to the side here, so I may have to move mine, but we'll see. Okay. Just kind of pull it up. There. That's looking much better. Okay, so I got the outcome here, and let's do the beginning. Again, because this word is so long and it's cursive, it's It can be a little challenging. I mean, look how I just pulled it off here. That's not very good. But once you get it down, it's really pretty. So keep going. Just take your time. Now we're going to attach the E. Okay. And then see where our W kind of lands here. You just have to play with it. Don't get frustrated, just kind of play around. Nothing is bad until you press it down with the brayer. Mine has a little loopy thing in there. I'm going to try to get that out. There we go. There. Okay. My W is a little low, but I'm okay with that. Look how cute that looks. Isn't that pretty? So once you get yours, then what I like to do is come in with my little brayer, and I just want to kind of get it down. And I think that looks beautiful. That was the hardest part, guys. And look at that. We kind of got it done. All right. I hope you had success. And now we have the 2-hour home. Okay. So you could kind of see that this is going to be tight. So we'll kind of go word for word, but we want to get it over as far as we can. And you may want that pencil mark. I think I'm just going to eyeball mine and see how it goes. So I really want this to go over. I'm just going to kind of put it on there gently and then see how it, oh, it looks like I might have lots of room actually. I really like that these words are kind of hooked together. Okay. Okay, so I should have moved the word hour over. So let me get the word home in there. This is why I never press down until I'm ready. So I'm going to get this word home on there first. Okay, let me just get this in and see. Yeah, that works. Okay. Okay, so I think my 2 is a little crooked. This is where you could take time, kind of figure out how you want it. There, I like that. This is all right for me. Maybe just a little down here. Okay. And then I'm going to turn this around just so I can work it a little better. Okay, welcome to our home. And then we have this beautiful swirl down here. So let's go ahead and get that on there. And you could do it either way you want. I think I might use this one. Just kind of put that in there. There we go. Welcome to our home. And we can also decorate with a couple butterflies here. And they're all on this particular one. So maybe we want to put one here. And we want one here. Okay, and if you have anything else on here that you want to put, you can do that. I'm going to save some of these to put up here with the flowers, some of the butterflies. Maybe I'll put a third one just because I want to over here. Okay, and there we are. We have done the whole bottom. So how are you doing at home? Are you doing well? Because I think this is really fun and so far super easy to do once you kind of have the tips and tricks. Okay, so now that we've done that, we need to add our beautiful flowers up here. So again, we're going to come to our vinyl outline sticker, and I'm going to do that weeding again just so you could kind of see the flowers and they're a little bit easier to peel. So I'm just going to go in and weed away the garbage. And we don't have to paint the top because we're going to end up painting all the flowers. So if you did add paint to the top here, the only thing you have to be aware of is that the color you put on the bottom may affect the color on top, and you want to make sure that you could see your beautiful flowers. So you can go ahead and you could have added a color here, but I just want to give you that advice that you do want to see the flowers. So make sure that it's something that the flowers will pop out on. Okay, so here on my sample, I am using both of these large ones right here, and I'm using these right here and adding these. So pretty much everything on the sticker sheet is going to go up here. All right, so I'm going to start with this flower right here, and I'm going to go in, I'm going to peel it. Just take your time peeling, and as you can see, here it is. I'm going to use my hands, and per my sample, I have this way over, so I kind of want to, it's about right above the line, and I kind of want to just fit it in here, kind of like that. So again, just like before, I'm not going to press it down really hard until it's time to, you know, say that's how I want it. But look how pretty this is already. I love the black and white with the blue. I just think that is stunning too. Okay, so let's put our other flower, which it looks like I have the little bulbs going that way. So I'll kind of turn it so you can see. And you could peel an outline sticker starting anywhere you want. I just kind of look for what I think will be an easy starting point, and I could also come in from the other side as well, and you just want to lift it up. Okay, so this one, okay, you guys didn't tell me. I have this backwards, so I could actually change this if I want. I'm trying to follow my sample, but actually, I'm trying to figure this out. Okay, maybe I will. Who knows what I do sometimes. Let's see. I don't know. This is weird. These may be different flowers. Okay, I'm going to go back to the way I had it because I liked it. Does it matter? Do I have to be exact? No. Okay, and then this one, I'm just going to kind of go over here. You can have some of the leaf go down if you want, so I could do this. But I really, just trying to see how I like it. I really like it more like this. This is just who I am. So I'm going to go back to that. Okay. All right. So I'm liking that. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to put these flowers. Maybe I'll have this one. I think I'm going to put this one more like this. And I am going to hang that over just a little bit. Maybe I'll move this one back. Just getting it to the way that you like it. And then I'm going to put a flower right up there. Okay, we go with that. And then we have these little tiny flowers that could be like little fillers. So this one I kind of on my sample put up here, so I'll do the same like that. And the other one I put over here. Well, it's really a bunch of personal choice. Okay, so I'm kind of liking how this is looking. And then later I could add my butterflies and things like that. So I kind of like this. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm going to try to paint over that border there. And I think that's kind of cool. So I am going to take now, very important, my brayer. Now if you don't have a brayer, use something to press down your words. So I don't think I pressed these down, so I'm just going to do it now. But you definitely want to press these flowers down. Now, before I do that, I should also come in here and look. So it looks like I might have had a negative come over right there, so I want to take that out. Get that. So if you had any of the inside stickers come over, now is when you should take that out. And see one right here. Okay, that's all I had. So hopefully you didn't have a lot. But now I am gonna just make sure this is down. Now why am I doing this? Because when I color, I don't want any of the paint to go into an area that I don't want it to go into. So if I'm coloring this yellow and I want these green, I don't want my green to come into the yellow. So I'm just making sure it's tight fit. Okay, that should do it. And now we're ready to color. So we're going to go back to our paint. And my flowers are primarily yellow. So there are a couple different yellows. Now I'm going to see how they show it on their little swatch here. Okay, so this Y53, right here, Y53, is this very bright yellow, but this Y71 is more like a butter yellow. I don't know if you can see that, but that's a very, very light one. So I'm not sure I want to use that. I'm going to start with this. And I'm also going to use a bit of this orange YR310. So that was kind of these highlights of orange that you see. So we said 310. So these two are the two that I'm going to start with. Okay, per instructions, let's shake a little bit. Again, completely up to you. And now the goal is to color in the lines. So this is where you want to try not to hit the vinyl, but if you do get it on the vinyl, that is what these baby wipes or wet paper towel or dipping the top of your Q-tip into a little tiny water to just take it off the vinyl, okay? I would do that after you finish like the whole flower. I wouldn't do it each time. It's up to you. So I'm just going to come in, and these beautiful brush tips are going to help you stay in here, stay in the lines.
which yellows are you using?
Okay, so again, the yellows I'm using are, it's right here on the cap, Y53, okay? And I'm going to use the orange, and I'll say it again, but the other one to me was just a little bit light. Maybe we'll give it a shot and just see. So I'm kind of adding my yellow now. I'm being careful not to go to the tip of my lines, but I did just get some on there, so I'm going to show you. Not a problem. Okay, so I did some yellow there. I got a little bit on my vinyl, and this is where I really like having the Q-tip, because I could just kind of come in and just take it off the vinyl. You have to be a little careful. But if you let it dry and then do this with water, it's much easier than when the paint is wet. Okay, so you could kind of see how I'm doing this, hopefully. Let's see, try to get it up there. Okay, all right, so I put that on there. If we were to use the other yellow, and believe me guys, test. Look at it. If you don't like this yellow, you can go over it with the other yellow. But do you see how much lighter this color is? And I think it's almost too light. You know, you can't really see it. So that's why I wasn't choosing it, but maybe, you know, I'll put a little bit of a highlight on the darker yellow with this light yellow. This one is Y71. Okay. So now, as we know, this does dry a little bit fast, but while we're waiting, let's go and do a little bit of this. Now again, I'm not sure which green I want to use, so I'm using this right here. I really like this YG57, and I like the G09. So let's see which this one is. This is G09. This is YG57. Okay, so again, I am using this right here to kind of help guide me. You can turn your sign over and test the color there or on a piece of paper. Okay, so let's see. This one to me looks light, but it's actually quite nice. And it's a little bit more tricky not to get on the vinyl. So this is definitely where I'm going to come in later and use my wet Q-tip. Okay, so I kind of put that in there. Let me see. I have to let that dry, so now I'm going to go back to the orange because I'm pretty sure, well, the yellow's not quite dry, but I'm going to put a little bit of orange in here. Okay, so I'm just putting a little bit of orange in here, just to kind of give it a little bit of character. And then like anything else we do, you come back with your yellow, and I'm just going to kind of blend that little harsh line just a little bit, just kind of feathering it. Just feather, feather, feather. And look how pretty this is starting to come. Okay. All right, so that's what you have to do now. It's all up to the coloring. So I'm going to call Michelle in here and ask her a question, and then we will just keep coloring yellow. Hi, Michelle. So on our website, do we have a picture of this right here when on the featured items?
It's still online,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, so we didn't give you a picture. That was our oversight in your instructions. We realized that, so we can follow up on Monday and do that, but you're coloring now. So if you go to our website, crazycreations.us, and go to the featured classes, you're going to see this one pop right up. So now there you can see all the colors that we use. So basically we're using yellow on the big flowers with that little bit of orange. We're using green tones on these buds and the leaves. We're using a purple and a pink. So if you have a piece of paper, I'm going to tell you the actual colors that I used so you could write it down. So grab a paper, pencil. You should have a pencil. And because the coloring part, I want you to take your time. I'm not going to have you watch me color, but take your time and color. And again, if you get anything on the vinyl, I just want to, while you're gathering your paper and pencil, I have a water bottle here. I'm going to just put, a tad of water in here. And then when I go to clean up my vinyl, I could dip my little Q-tip a little bit in the water, kind of make it so it's not too wet. And then I can go on here and just take off the paint. Again, it works best when the rest of it is dry. Okay, but you can see it comes right off the vinyl. So you just take your time. You don't have to be perfect. Some of mine is still on the vinyl over here, not much, but that's how, if you kind of make an oopsie, the Q-tip or the paper towel with just a tad of water on it, that's all you need to do. Okay?
Can we go over why it's important to wipe the marker off the vinyl stickers again?
Okay, so the reason that I am wiping the paint off the vinyl, you do not have to. But if you want the dark outline, you need to take the paint off the vinyl. For instance, I'm gonna just show you. If I go like this, you're not gonna see the dark line. Let me hold that up. You're not going to see my lines, and it's not going to look as good if you go over the vinyl with the paint marker. So what I have to do is to come in and remove that. And can you see now, just using this, I just want to take it off so I could see my outline sticker, because that's part of the best part of having an outline sticker is it gives you a good image. But now that I just kind of quickly did that, I just want to show you the difference right here. Do you see now? You could really see the outline right there. And that's the difference. So I like to see the black lines. That gives the image. I'd rather focus on painting and using my markers to do that and to have the lines, okay? So that's why. Now when you have something solid like this, you don't have to paint that because that looks beautiful solid just like that. I hope that answered that question. Okay, the markers, here they are. For these flowers, the big mums, I use the yellow, Y53. And I highlighted with YR310, which was the orange. Also, if you want to use a little bit of this Y71, you could maybe come in the darker yellow and just put a little bit of these cream highlights. So this would be my last step, highlights only, Y71. Primary colors, orange, and this yellow, Y53. Okay? So that's for the mums. For these flowers, the leaves and the bulbs, I am using YG57, has the lighter color, and I'm doing just a tad of shading with G09. G09 is the darker shader, YG57 is the lighter. Okay, so I only did the light there, so let's go in and add a little dark. Oops, you can see on this one I don't have any ink. Look, see, no ink on the end of this one, so I do need to shake it. So shake, 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 and maybe I have to prime it. Come on. Okay, it should work. I don't know why, but you know what? If it's not going to work, let's go to the other green. G115. Okay, so I'm changing to G115, and I'm just going to add just a little bit of the darker green on the bottom. Okay, so I had to change from G09. On here I am now using G15. And then I want to go back with my YG57 and kind of just bring that harsh line at the end back up there. Okay, that looks really cool. All right, so this is going to be your bulb, your leaves. Inside this right here, unless you want to keep that black and white, that's cool too, right there. So now we have our pink and our purple. Okay, the pink I used is really RV08, which comes out to be this color right here, this pinky color, which I think is really pretty. And that's for the small mums. So I only use this one little color, RV08. And then I came in and I did just a little tiny bit of highlight with R22. So again, I primarily colored the whole thing with this one, RV08. And then you just add a little bit of shading, you know, just very, very little, R22, just like we did with this buttercream yellow, okay? And last, I used purple for the tiny ones, and that one was VO17. I can't read very well, but again, VO17. This color right here. Okay, you can use any color you want. These are the markers that did the entire thing for me. Okay, plus we used our blue. I hope that makes sense. And again, go to the picture on our website, krazycreations.us, upper tab, featured classes, and this will pop up right here, the finished one, and you can take a picture and use it as your guide for coloring, or you could do your own thing. So the last thing that I'd like to say, as Michelle and I will be signing off to leave you to paint, remember this dries really fast. We did not seal ours, but if you ever are somebody who wants to seal yours, meaning make it shiny and kind of protect it, there's all kinds of sprays out there that do that. I use the Aleene's glossy spray. I just find that I just do a quick outdoor and it kind of makes it nice and shiny and protected. But I did not do it on this one. I liked the raw look because we kind of have this distressed. That's it. I hope you enjoy this. Michelle, do you have anything you want to say?
All right. Well, that was a great presentation by Kara. Good job. I think it turned out amazing. I did want to share that we will be live again tomorrow. We'll be making this beautiful book right here. It is our baking journal. So we will be doing another project tomorrow.
And it is Super Bowl Sunday, so are you going to pick the Crazy Ladies, the Super Bowl, or replay us?
We'll probably get replays, but that's okay.
That's okay with us. This one will take a little bit longer. The class did sell out, so if you didn't get it, you could watch the video, but if you got the class, you're lucky, and we hope that you will join us tomorrow.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.